If you're looking for the best mouth strip for nighttime nasal breathing, this video is for you. Hey guys, Alex here from alexfergus.com, and behind me I have mouth strips from 6 different companies. Now, I've been testing all of these products over the last few weeks, in fact the last few months now, and I've been using these to optimize my nasal breathing at nighttime. Now, if you don't know why I'm doing that, or you don't know about mouth breathing and nasal breathing and the pros and cons and all that jazz, then I'm not going to get into all the details in this video. I'll put a link to a good video below that you can go and watch and then come back to this clip. This video though, I want to focus more on helping you find the best product for your needs, because like I said, I've found 6 products here, 6 different companies, so it is a little bit murky out there, like which one's the best. They all look a little bit different, they're priced differently, so it can be a bit tricky. So what I'm going to do in this video is compare all of these mouth strips over 5 different metrics. We're going to look at them for price, practicality, safety, how well they stick, and then everything else. Now I should add, I've actually reviewed all of these individually and posted the videos here on my YouTube channel, so you may have seen some of them before. If not, I'll put links to them below and you'll be able to go out and go off and watch them on the side or after this. One thing I should mention, feel free to use the chapters below and you can find the section that interests you. Otherwise, let's get into this comparison. Alright, so first things first, what products do I have behind me? Well, the first one is Somnifix. This is quite a popular product and has a big marketing push behind it. I know the founders were actually on the Shark Tank show, which is how I stumbled upon them. Quite a good product, and if you've seen my reviews, you know this scores well. Next up we have Myotape. This is an Australian company. Their mouth strip is a little bit different. I've got a sheet of them here. They actually go around the mouth, unlike the Somnifix, which sits on top of the lips. We'll go into more details about each strip's pros and cons shortly as well. Then I have Johnson & Johnson Bandaid Hypoallergenic Tape. Now this isn't marketed as a mouth strip tape for nasal breathing, but it works really, really well. So I've included that in this comparison. Then we have SleepYStrip or SleepYStrip. These, like the Myotape, are again a little bit different, where the strip doesn't just fit over the lips. It actually has a big Y and goes up over the top lip and down. It's quite a unique strip, and it's got its pros and cons as well. Then we have the Woodyknows Mouth Strips. These are a bit of a hybrid, similar to the Somnifix, but they've also got a little bit extra on the top as well. When I first saw these, I was really excited because these were one of the last strips I tested, and I thought, you know what, these guys have cracked it, it's the perfect strip. And lastly, we have the Chinup Strips from the Chinup company. Now these have only just arrived. I was waiting a long time for them, and I decided I'm not going to bother reviewing them. There's a couple of reasons why. The strips, there's an assortment of strips here. They're different designs, different shapes, so it's hard to really, effectively I need to test all the different shapes one by one to get scores for them. They even come in different colors. The instructions that come with these strips is quite comprehensive, and I just couldn't be bothered, to be honest. Like these, if you've used mouth strips before, you just want something simple. You don't want to be fluffing around and having to get in the shower or shave and all that to put it on, or use mirrors. So yeah, I've decided I wasn't going to do a standalone review on these. I just wanted to mention their products in this comparison, though like I said, for the price and the hassle and the inconvenience, I wouldn't worry about these. So that leaves us with 5. Okay, let's get into this comparison. So I have 5 rounds, and the first round is my stickability round. Now I score each product on a scale from 0 through to 5. 5 being great, 0 being absolutely terrible. This first round is what I call stickability, and what I mean by that is how well does it stick? Does it stay on all night? If you do have to take it off to have a drink or talk or whatever, can you put it back on? Does it stay on for the rest of the night? Could you potentially reuse it if you're trying to save a little bit of money? All those sort of things. Now I've tested all of these products. I've slept with all of them. Sounds a bit funny. I've used all of them at night time for at least a week, some of them a lot longer than a week, and I've scored each of them accordingly. Okay, so what I'm going to do is rank them from the best scoring to the lowest scoring. In first place with 5 points was Somnifix. Their mouth strips are super sticky. It's incredible how sticky they are. You can take them off, put them back on multiple times a night, there's no issue. In fact, I reused one strip for 5 nights. It was that sticky, which is quite amazing. I know you're not meant to reuse them, but it just shows how good these things are. Now, second place on 4 points is actually shared between 3 products. The Myotape, the SleepYStrip, and the Woodyknows. All of them stick really well, but not quite as good as the Somnifix. And then finally, we're left with the Bandaid Johnson & Johnson medical tape. Now that works, but some nights it would come off. If you drool a lot, or you have to peel a little bit off, or if you haven't got full coverage and you do get a little bit of breathing off to the side, I do notice this will come off. There has been nights when I've had to get a new strip in the middle of the night. For that reason, I give it a 3 out of 5. Somnifix 5 out of 5, and the other one's 4 out of 5. Alright, the next category is safety. Is it safe to use? Does it allow some mouth breathing? Can you remove it in a hurry? Is there any risk of choking? Those sort of things. Again, I score these products from 0 through to 5, 5 being great. Fortunately, most of these products scored really, really well. In fact, we have 3 products on 5 points. The Somnifix got a 5 out of 5, the Myotape 5 out of 5, and the SleepYStrip all got 5 out of 5s. These all have vents or tabs or gaps to allow you to quickly pull it off, to talk if you have to, or to take a bit of a mouth breath if need be. Now, you're probably wondering, hey, if I'm using these strips, why do I want to be able to mouth breathe? I thought that's what I'm trying to avoid. And that's true, but some people have quite severe mouth breathing, so if you literally tape them all up and they're forced to breathe through the nose, it can cause panic and anxiety, and in the middle of the night, you know, you can literally wake up gasping for the air because the body's not used to breathing through the nose while it's sleeping. So it's important that like you can get a little bit of air through the mouth if need be. It just helps calm the body and yourself. So like I said, all of these allow that. The Somnifix has a little hole in the middle there which allows a teeny bit of breath. You couldn't breathe like that all night though. The Myotape goes around the lips. It's quite a unique design, so you can actually open your mouth, but the elasticity of the Myotape pulls your jaw shut again. So yes, you can open it and you can talk and you can drink and breathe through your mouth, of course, but the force of the elasticity sort of pulls your mouth shut as you return to sleep. And then the SleepYStrip, again, it doesn't cover all your lips, it just comes through the middle, and there is a strap at the bottom that you can pull to quickly pull it off if need be. So that's why they all score 5 out of 5. They're all using hypoallergenic, low allergy adhesives and tapes and materials, so there's no issues with reaction. Behind all those products that got 5 out of 5, I have the Woodyknows on a 4 out of 5. Now this is good, but it's not quite as good as the other strips. There is a bit of a risk of it coming off. It's a bit smaller. You don't have a lot of adhesive, especially because the adhesive goes above the lips. Now, if you have facial hair like I do, you don't get a really good connection with the skin, which is why this only got 4 out of 5 for the stickability round. It means it can come off during the night. It also means if you try to pull it off real fast, it pulls the hair and it kind of hurts. And after you've done that a few times, you're a bit hesitant to pull it off. For those reasons and a few others that I go into in the review of this product, I'm giving it a 4 out of 5. And finally, we have the Johnson & Johnson Bandaid tape. Now, I give this 2 out of 5 with a little star. Because to be honest, there are no safety features on this. Yes, it's hypoallergenic, so you're not going to develop a rash. But there's no little vent for any mouth breathing. There's no tab that doesn't have any adhesive allowing you to quickly pull it off if you do need to, I don't know, yell out or you're freaking out and you need to breathe through the mouth. There's nothing like that. It's big enough though that I haven't had the risk of choking from it, though I could see that happening, not necessarily choking, but I could see it coming off and entering in your mouth because of, like I said before, if you get a bit of drool on it, it gets the stickiness adhesive weakens. But I did say it's 2 with a star. Now, what I've developed over time, because I've actually used this a lot, is you can kind of make your own safety features. Now, if I rip off a strip like so, if I were to put that on my mouth, you can see there that it's, you know, could be tricky to get off. And the funny thing is, with time, this seems to stick better. So when you take it off straight away, it's quite easy. Give it half an hour and it gets a bit difficult. But what I've figured out is you can actually take this strip, fold some of it over, like so, and make your own non-adhesive tab. So now if I put it on, you'll see there's a bit at the end that doesn't stick down. So effectively what that does is makes it, you know, like your Somnifix and SleepYStrip that have a non-adhesive tab that sticks out and you can grab that. So that's good. You could also do a little tear in the middle, make a little bit of a hole, and then you do have a little vent there for some mouth breathing. Alright, round 3. Now we look at practicality, and that's simple. How well does it work? Remember, these are designed to help you nasal breathe at nighttime, to restrict mouth breathing and help you breathe through the nose. Simple as that. So, how well do they work? Unfortunately, some of them don't work very well at all. So let's get into it. So the top 2 scorers for this round were the Somnifix and the Bandaid medical tape. I give these both a 4 out of 5. They work really good, though there's some minor flaws. So if you have watched a few of my reviews on these products, or you've used them yourself, you'll know there's a common denominator between these 2 products. The Somnifix fits over the mouth with a little vent and a little tab on the side. The Bandaid tape effectively does the same, though it doesn't have those fancy features. It just goes over the lips, simple as that. If you look at all the rest, they're all different designs. Some go around the lips, some go on top, some go under. I've found over the months of testing that directly on the lips with a good seal is the best way to restrict mouth breathing. And I think I have quite a serious case of mouth breathing, because even these other products that are meant to work really well, I still breathe a lot through the mouth. So I'm a good test case to see how well these strips perform. Now, like I said, over the lips works best for me. The problem with the Bandaid and why I didn't give it 5 out of 5 is you've really got to use quite a lot of it, and sometimes if you've got facial hair, or if you do get a little bit of drool or moisture on it, you know, you have a sip of water through the side of the mouth, or you try talking and that releases some moisture, you lose a little bit of that stickability, as I call it, and that can mean a bit of an opening occurs where you can breathe through the mouth. Of course, you want a little bit of an opening there, so there's that safety aspect as well. So that's why I don't get to 4 out of 5. Somnifix, same thing. I actually found that vent, if I'm really relaxed, I can actually breathe through the mouth. And there have been the odd time, it's very rare, when I have woken up and I've had a slightly dry mouth, which is often a sign of mouth breathing. It's very infrequently, and I think it only happens when I'm sleeping on my back and in a very like mellow sort of state, you know, maybe a deep sleep state. It's very, very rare though. But so that's why I give that a 4 out of 5 instead of a 5 out of 5. Next up we have Woodyknows. Now I give this a 3 out of 5. I really thought it was going to be the perfect strip when I unboxed this. The problem is the strip goes above the lips, underneath, and on the lips. But the section that goes on the lips has no adhesive. So it allows you a lot of wiggle room. And in turn, it does mean you can get a bit of breath through the mouth. Like I said, I think I'm an extreme case of mouth breathing. And unfortunately, it's just not quite good enough. More often than not, I'd wake up during the night or in the morning with a headache, with a dry mouth, all signs that I was mouth breathing. That's why I give it a 3 out of 5. For the bottom 2 scorers, I give the SleepYStrip 2 out of 5 and the Myotape 1 out of 5. The Myotape, though a lot of people rave about it, it just didn't work for me. It just wasn't tight enough to really lock my jaw shut. I could easily talk and drink and all that with it, which is great, but as soon as I went to sleep, my jaw was droppy and I was back to breathing through the mouth. So I don't recommend the Myotape as a mouth strip, unless you only have a mild case and all you need is a gentle nudge. Though there are other benefits of the Myotape that I go into in my dedicated review of that product, so you might want to check them out. And those examples are daytime use, sports use, or for children as well. Alright, round 4, now we look at price. Now instead of looking at these at a price per pack, I've worked it out on a price per night. That makes it a little bit easier to compare. So let's run through this. This time around we're going to do worst to best, or most expensive to least expensive. Alright, so in last place with the most expensive strip was SleepYStrip. Now I gave this a 2 out of 5. Now these strips cost anything from 67 through to 80 cents. It depends how many you buy at a time. If you do a bulk order, you know, a couple months at a time, you can get the price down. But still 67 up to the 80-cent mark, it is getting up there. You know, I know you can't put a price on health, but now it's a little bit expensive, 67 up to 80 cents a night. You know, it does start adding up. There could be $200-300 a year if you're using it, especially when some of these other products, as we'll soon find out, are a lot cheaper. Next up is the Woodyknows. Now I gave this a 3 out of 5. They sell for $17 for a pack of 24, which works out to be 70 cents each. Slightly better than the SleepYStrip though. These can be a little bit hard getting. It took me a while to find these. I had to get them through Amazon in the end. Okay, next up we've got two products that I give 4 out of 5. Myotape and the Somnifix. Myotape works out to be 29 cents a night, which is a really good price, and you can buy multiple packets again and get that price even lower. So 29 cents a night, you know, I think that's a really good price for something that you're using every single night, right? The Somnifix, on the other hand, are a lot more expensive, but, and there's a catch, it costs $22, I believe it is, for a pack of 28. However, there's a discount code, and it's AlexFergus10, that will save you 10%. That brings the price down to $20 a pack. That's still up at about 70 cents a night, which is back where these ones were priced, right? But there's a few buts here. Firstly, if you buy in bulk, you can get the price right down to about 55 cents a night, so that's one big saving. But secondly, you can use these multiple times a week. So for instance, I typically, when I'm using Somnifix, I'll reuse it 2 or 3 times before I get a new one out. So recently, I was away for 3 nights. I had one of these in my bag. It lasted me the whole 3 nights while I was away. So if you break that down, if it's averaging out to be 60 cents a strip, and you get 3 nights out of it, that's only 20 cents a strip. It's cheaper than these, right? Which is why I've scored these the same. Of course, not everyone will do that, in which case this is quite expensive, but if you are reusing it because you can, then hey, it's quite cost effective. And in first place, we have the Bandaid medical tape. Now, I give this a 5 out of 5 because it's super cheap. It works out to be about 5 cents a night. This roll of tape, 30-foot tape, cost me about $6 US. You could probably find it cheaper. I just got it from my supermarket. Depending on how much or how little you rip off, it could cost anything from 2 cents to about 10 cents. It's still cheaper than any other product by far, hence it gets the 5 out of 5. Okay, now we're in the 5th and final round, and in this round I look at everything else. I score each product out of 5 again, and I look at things such as appearance, ease of use, how messy is it, how much packaging is involved, can you talk with it on, is it travel friendly, and any other thoughts I had. So the top scorers here, I had 2 products, the Somnifix and the Woodyknows Mouth Strips. Both of these look really good, they blend in with the skin. Well, look really good with the mouth tape is a bit silly because all of these look silly, but some of them aren't as silly as the others, I guess. So Somnifix is quite transparent, and some people don't even know it's on until they get close. Woodyknows Mouth Strips sort of blend in with the skin a bit, so it's not too bad as well, so that's good. There is a bit of mess and packaging involved with the Somnifix. In fact, that is one of the biggest downsides I had with the Somnifix. When you open the box, you get a packet of strips that are all joined together. You've got to open that and then take the packaging off, and then you end up with a ton of mess, so that is a bit of a bummer. Mouth strips from Woodyknows, not too bad on the mess front. You can talk through both of them. Travel, it's easy. Like I said, you can just take 1 or 2 of those strips in your bag when you go away and you're good for a few nights. So 4 out of 5 for both of those products. I've got 2 products I give 3 out of 5. Myotape and Bandaid. Myotape, with its unique design, allows you to talk, you can drink through it, super easy, right? So that is great. But it looks ridiculous. Like seriously, even my wife, who's used to me wearing blue blocking glasses and all these mouth strips and all sorts of gizmos and gadgets, when I wore that, she just thought, oh my god, this is ridiculous. You almost look like a clown with the big bright lips. So yeah, not the best on that front. But like I said, you can easily talk through it. You can easily drink through it. You can pack a sheet of these in your travel bag. There's not too much mess, good to know. Though, applying them can be tricky. These things are so sticky, they get stuck on everything, and there's a bit of spring from the elasticity that sometimes you end up having to throw 1 or 2 out just to because it's hard to get an application. So that impacted my score on this round as well. Bandaid, with its price, you can buy a couple of these, chuck one in your travel bag. There's not too much mess, you don't have packaging or anything to deal with. You can talk with them, but like I said earlier, if you talk with this on, it soon starts losing its adhesiveness. So again, that's why I give those 3 out of 5. And in last place, the SleepYStrip, 1 out of 5. Now these are shocking. There's tons of packaging. Each one is like individually sealed as if it's a sterilized wound dressing Band-Aid. They're quite big. If you go traveling, you know, you've got a big box to take, a big hard cardboard box. It's hard to talk through them, hard to drink through them. They look really silly. 1 out of 5. Okay, that's the end of the comparison. So we've got 5 scores now from 5 different products. Here we're going to find out what mouth strip is the best one on the market. Okay, in last place with a score of 14 out of 25, we have the SleepYStrip. I'm not going to go into too much detail since it's last. But in a nutshell, it's quite expensive, it's quite bulky, doesn't work that well, and yeah, I just recommend avoiding it. In fourth equal, we have two products. They both scored 17 out of 25. Myotape and the Bandaid roll. Really though, given that this just didn't work for me it's not even an option. Bandaid though works quite well. The downsides are the safety issues, the fact that it doesn't always stick all night and all those sort of things. Based on my scoring system, I think that's a fair score. However, based on my personal experience, I would say this is a better product than Myotape. Really though, this is more suited if you have a mild case of mouth breathing, or you're an athlete and you want to try and breathe more through the nose while you're training, or you've got children. I may use these on my children if they develop, mouth breathing as they get a little bit older. I'll also keep them in the gym if I'm trying to, optimize nose breathing when I'm training. The Bandaid roll, you know what? I'm going to keep this over here because we're going to come back to this later. That leaves two, Somnifix and Woodyknows. Now, if you've seen my reviews before, and if you've been adding up the score as we go along, the winner is clear, and that is the Somnifix. The Somnifix comes out at 22 out of 25, top scorer by far. Second place was the Woodyknows with 18 out of 25. The Woodyknows could have been the perfect strip. It's just the fact that it doesn't have that adhesive over the lips. I just didn't get a good seal. I still breathe a little bit through the mouth. It just, it was a slight letdown. Otherwise, it was so close to being perfect. Somnifix, 22 out of 25. I can't say it's perfect because otherwise it would have had a 25 out of 25 score. But they are really good strips. They stick so well, you can use them multiple nights. There's plenty of safety features. You've got the little vent in the middle there so you can breathe through the mouth if you have to. You've got the quick pull tab on the side. It looks good. It's not too big. Price wise, yes, it's up there, but if you buy in bulk, the price rapidly comes down. And even better, if you reuse the strips over multiple nights, the price comes down to well below some of these other products, so that's really good. The biggest bugbear I have with this is probably the amount of mess. When you open up the box, you get a big packet of strips. They're all individually sealed. You open that one individual packet, then you've got the strip with some more plastic tape on it. You've got to peel that off. By the end of the night, you've got a big pile of paper. Now, if you do that multiple times in the night, well, hopefully not in the night, and you shouldn't need to do that multiple times in the night with this. If you do that multiple times during a week and you haven't cleaned up the mess, by the end of the week, you have a ton of rubbish. And I just hate it. I think it's just too excessive. The second thing is, if you don't use these fast enough, I mentioned before when I went away, I had some of these in my bag, but it was quite hard to open. It was almost like that adhesiveness had just soaked out and all the packaging was a bit tricky to get off. And I ended up having to rip it to get it out. So that is a bit of a bummer. But otherwise, yeah, I mean, they're really good. They do a really, really good job. And before you run off and buy Somnifix products, and by the way, I do have that discount code. I reached out to them and said, hey, your product's awesome. Can I get a code for my viewers? They said, yes, the code is AlexFergus10. It will save you 10%. So that is great. I'll put a link to that below. But before you out and buy these, I need to bring back the Bandaid medical tape. Now, these are the two products I use the most. Now, you might be quite surprised. Why do I use this when I can get these and these are nice and stuff? It's just that this is so easy. It's just a small roll. I go to bed, I rip a little bit off, put it on my mouth, away I go. This requires a little bit more work. You got to get all the packaging, you got to stick it on, all that jazz, right? But this requires a little bit more work. You got all that packaging, you got to open it up, stick it on, and also there's a slightly more cost involved with this than this, especially if you're reusing it. It's funny because though this is a better product, I actually find myself using this a lot more. Especially since I figured out my little safety hacks with this product. Because I was always concerned that some night I might wake up and I may need to take a breath, or might be someone here and I need to yell out to my wife, or I don't know, my nose is congested and my body freaks out and I just can't breathe through the mouth. Once I realized you can fold over a little end and keep a bit of a tab and make that quick pull release, because that's the other thing, without that quick pull release, sometimes this gets so well sealed on the body, it gets rather difficult to pull it off. So once I realized I could do that with this tape, it was a lot more attractive. And obviously the price and the size, it's just a little bit of tape, it's quite useful. And some nights I use this, some nights I use this, but more often than not, I'm using the Bandaid tape, which is quite interesting. So, what do I think overall? Well, I'll put it simply. If you're new to mouth strips and you're trying to optimize nasal breathing, I think you should spend the money, get the Somnifix ones. They've got all the safety features built in, there's nice instructions, they're designed for mouth breathing, right? Well, they're designed for nasal breathing, to stop your mouth breathing. It's all there for you, right? Start with this, get some practice in, spend the money, just put it down to learning. If you do freak out in the middle of the night and you need to pull it off, there's that little tab, you've always got that little vent there. And the other thing with Somnifix is you can actually pucker up a little bit and push your tongue out and the whole thing pops off as well. So you've got all these neat features that are great for newbies. After a few months or a few weeks of using this, if you run out, then maybe you can try using the Bandaid and see if the Bandaid tape and see if that works well for you. If it doesn't, or you're just happy with Somnifix, stick with Somnifix. Alternatively, if you're on a super tight budget and you spend enough money on red light therapy panels and wearables and whatnot, and you can't afford the Somnifix strips, get the mouth tape. But this is what I'd recommend. Rip it off, fold over the edges, maybe both edges, put it on, and make sure you've got little gaps on each side of the lips so you can breathe through the mouth, and those tabs allow you to quickly pull it off. That's what I'd do if you're new to mouth taping and you don't want to buy the Somnifix products. As for all the other products, I mean, hey, you can try them as well, but really, hopefully my testing over the last few months and this review and this comparison series saves you a few dollars and saves you the headaches and frustrations that I've had while using these products. I think really you should go for the Bandaid tape or the Somnifix. Remember, I have reviewed all of these products individually and in much more detail, and I go into all my thoughts and experiences with these products. I'll put links to them below. So if you're still keen on, you know, the Myotape because it goes around the mouth or something like that, go check out that video and you can learn a little bit more about it. Otherwise, check out Somnifix, Fergus 10 will save you 10%, or the Bandaid medical tape. I hope you have enjoyed this video, and if you did, give me a thumbs up. If you found it useful, thumbs up. If you want to see more reviews and comparisons, please subscribe, and if you have any questions, please leave them below. Alright guys, bye.